You drift in the silent, black ocean. Your post is a lonely watch in the deep. The starship, Vigilance, hums around you. It is a soft, reassuring sound. A mechanical lullaby in the endless night. You are a navigator, a sky watcher. Your job is to stare into nothing and hope nothing stares back. Most days, you win that bet. The command deck is quiet. Dimly lit panels cast long shadows. They stretch and twist like sleeping beasts. Your crewmates are ghosts in the low light, each lost in their own routine, their own silent dance with duty. The ship feels vast and empty, a cathedral built to worship the void. You often wonder if you are a priest or a sacrifice. Your corner of this cathedral is the navigation throne. It is less a chair and more a web of control interfaces. They wrap around you like a metallic hug. Screens flicker with the slow waltz of distant galaxies. Data streams scroll in serene, green waterfalls. It is all very peaceful. Deceptively so. The universe is always hiding something. You just have not found it yet. Out here, time is a strange soup. It is measured in shifts, not days. In cups of recycled coffee, not sunrises. You have seen neither sun nor moon for 3 years. Your skin is pale. Your eyes are accustomed to the soft glow of technology. You have probably forgotten what real sunlight feels like. A small price for charting the unknown, or so you tell yourself. A single, impossible dot appears on the screen. It is a tiny pinprick of white light. It sits where no light should be. The scope is keyed to detect energy signatures, star emissions, ship drives. Not this. It is clean, pure, an aberration against the dark canvas. Your heart gives a little kick, a drummer finding a new beat. You run a diagnostic on the system. The machine must be failing. A glitch in the grand, expensive machine. The results come back instantly. All systems are green. All sensors are operating at peak efficiency. The dot is real. It is not an error. The error is out there, in the black, not in here with you. This is somehow less comforting. You magnify the image. The dot resolves into nothing more. It remains a perfect tiny circle. No ship profile, no energy flare from a drive. It just is, and it moves. It moves faster than any known physics allows. It crosses star systems in the time it takes you to blink. A streak of impossibility against your most trusted instruments. You check the math. Then you check it again. The computer confirms the readings. Its speed is absurd. It breaks the universal speed limit. Like a pedestrian casually jogging on the surface of a star. You feel a prickle of cold sweat on your neck. The quiet hum of the ship suddenly feels fragile. Like a soap bubble about to pop. The dot continues its impossible journey. A ghost on your scope. You have trained for a dozen alien contact scenarios. Hostile fleets. Strange star-born creatures. First contact protocols are drilled into you. But there is no protocol for this. No chapter in the manual for a thing that ignores the rules of reality itself. A thing that moves like a thought. You feel a sense of professional offense. It is one thing to encounter the unknown. It is another for the unknown to be so rude about it. To so flagrantly disregard the laws of motion. It is like watching a magician. Except the trick is real. And you are the only one in the audience. The show feels like it is just for you. The unknown object turns. It does not bank or curve. It simply changes its vector. A 90-degree shift in an instant. A hard right turn at a speed that should tear it into atoms. It shears through space-time like a razor. And now, it moves toward you, toward the Vigilance, toward your tiny bubble of air and light. A cold dread settles in the command center. It is a physical thing, a weight in the air. The quiet hum of the ship now sounds like a frightened gasp. The dot on your screen is no longer a curiosity. It is a missile, an arrow drawn and aimed at your heart. The silence on the bridge is broken. A dozen small sounds of alarm, a chair scraping back, a sharp intake of breath. Your fingers fly across your console. You try to get a better reading, anything to make sense of the approaching threat. The dot grows brighter as it nears. It is still just a point of light, a malevolent star coming to visit. You feel a primal fear, the fear of something fast, something you cannot see, coming for you in the dark. The calm of the bridge shatters completely. The captain is on his feet. His voice cuts through the tension. A sharp, focused instrument. "Report," he barks. His eyes are locked on the main view screen, on the single, glaring dot. You try to speak. Your throat is dry. You swallow hard and find your voice. "Object on an intercept course, Captain." You continue. Velocity is inconsistent with known physics. It is not slowing down. That is the part that truly chills you. It is not preparing to stop. It is not planning a friendly hello. It is a bullet that does not intend to miss. The air in the room becomes thick. Every crew member is frozen, a tableau of disbelief and burgeoning terror. The vector is perfect. A straight line from its impossible turn to your exact position. It knows precisely where you are. In the vast, three-dimensional ocean of space, it found you. A shark that smells a single drop of blood from a light year away. The quiet loneliness of your post is gone, replaced by a feeling of being watched, hunted. You try to analyze its energy signature again. The readings are still wrong. They flicker and shift. But as the object gets closer, something begins to resolve. A pattern emerges from the noise. It is faint, distorted by its impossible speed. But it is there, a whisper of a signal that you should not be hearing. The signature is human, unmistakably human. Your console flashes green with a confirmation, a Terran energy profile. But it is a design you have never seen, a variant that is older, more powerful, more brutal. It is a design lost to history, an artifact from humanity's darkest age, an age of civil war and terrible weapons. The captain moves closer to your station. He leans over your shoulder. His eyes scan the data. "Run it against the historical archives," he says. His voice is low, tense. Cross-reference old fleet designs, the pre-diaspora fleets. You obey instantly. Your fingers dance across the holographic keys. The archives are vast. Most are sealed. The computer sifts through centuries of data, through the ghosts of forgotten starships. It hunts for a match, for the energy profile of the monster closing in. The dread in your gut twists into a knot. Human. Why is it human? The galaxy is wide, full of wonders and horrors. But the greatest horrors are often the ones you make yourselves. A match flashes on your screen, a single hit from a locked file, a file flagged with the highest security warnings. Access denied. You stare at the red letters. The file is sealed for a reason. Some pages of history are so dark, they are ripped out of the book. But the ship is still coming. The past is on an intercept course with the present. The captain sees the locked file. He does not hesitate. He enters his command override codes, a string of authorizations that could start or end wars. His face is grim, set like stone. He is a grizzled veteran, a man who has seen the dark places of the galaxy. But you have never seen him look like this, not even during the pirate skirmishes or the star fluke migration. He pales. The color drains from his face. He sees the decrypted file, the schematic, the history, the name. He knows the ship. He knows the phantom. He stumbles back a single step, a small, involuntary movement. But on the rigid formality of a command deck, it is a shout of pure terror. It is the silent scream of a man who has seen a ghost. His fear is contagious. It washes over the bridge like a wave. The crew looks from the screen to him, their own fear mirrored and magnified in their commander's eyes. A captain is the rock, the unshakable center. When the rock begins to tremble, the whole world falls apart. He knows what is coming for you, and it is worse than any alien fleet. He looks at you. His eyes are wide with a terrible understanding. "It can't be," he whispers, a prayer to a silent universe. But the dot on the screen grows brighter. The universe is not listening. The ghost is real. It is a phantom from a genocidal war, a war humans fought against themselves, a war of annihilation. He whispers its name. A tremor shakes his voice. The word is poison on his tongue. He says it so quietly, you can barely hear it. But the name echoes in the sudden silence of the bridge. It fills the space with an ancient dread, a name pulled from the bloodiest chapter of human history. They called it the war vessel, Retribution. The name hangs in the air. Retribution. It is not a name for a ship of peace. It is not a vessel of exploration. It is a promise of vengeance, a promise of pain. The ship was a legend, a horror story told to young cadets, a cautionary tale about the darkness that sleeps in the human heart, a weapon that should have stayed dead. The crew stares at him, then at the screen. The impossible dot is now a sliver of light, still too far to see its shape. But you can feel it. You can feel its purpose. The Retribution was built for one reason: to end a war by ending a people. It was a fleet killer, a world breaker, and it was supposed to have been destroyed centuries ago, along with its entire fleet. "Open a channel," the captain orders. His voice is stronger now, forged in the fire of his fear. Transmit the universal greeting of peace. It is a desperate gambit, a plea to a nightmare. You key in the command. Your ship sends out a stream of harmonic code, a mathematical song of friendship, of non-aggression. It is the first thing you say to any unknown vessel. You send the message of peace into the void. You send it toward the oncoming specter. For a moment, there is only silence. The Retribution continues its approach, undeterred, unchanged. You wait. The entire bridge waits, holding its collective breath. Perhaps it is a different ship, a coincidence, a ghost with no memory. Then they reply. The reply is not code. It is not language. It is a sound that rips through the comm system. It bypasses the speakers. It tears directly into your mind, a sound no living being should ever hear. It is a chorus of agony, a symphony of torment, the shriek of a billion dying souls. The sound is a psychic scream. It is the death echo of a world, the last terrible moment of a planetary consciousness, annihilated, wiped clean from existence. The Retribution is not just a ship. It is a tomb. It is a recording. It carries the memory of its greatest crime. And it wants you to hear it. It wants you to share in the suffering. The psychic assault hits the crew like a physical blow. People cry out. They clutch their heads. They fall from their stations. Your own mind reels. Images flood your consciousness. Cities of glass turn to dust. Green fields burning under a black sky. The faces of men, women, and children, twisted in a final, silent scream. This is not a memory. It is a weapon. Your ship's shields mean nothing. They are designed to stop plasma bolts, lasers, physical threats. They cannot stop a memory. They cannot hold back a tide of pure psychic horror. The crew is gripped by an invisible, suffocating terror. It is in your head. It is in your soul. The ship is no longer a sanctuary. It is a trap. You fight to stay conscious. You focus on the blinking lights of your console, on the hard reality of the machine. Anything to anchor yourself. The scream fades. It leaves behind a residue of pure fear, a lingering taste of ashes and sorrow. The bridge is a wreck. People are sobbing. Some are curled into a ball on the floor. Others stare blankly into space, their eyes hollow. The captain is still standing. He is shaking, but he is standing. He leans heavily on your navigation throne. His knuckles are white. He forces himself to look at the view screen, at the source of the nightmare, the retribution. It is closer now. You can almost make out its shape, a sliver of ancient, vengeful metal. The human ship does not arm its weapons. There is no flare of energy cannons charging, no missile bay doors opening. It is a predator. It does not need to rush. It positions itself just outside your own weapon range. It sits there, watching you. It wants to see you break. It wants to savor your fear. It feeds on it. This is not a battle. It is a hunt. And you are the prey. The retribution is playing with its food. It sent the scream, the opening salvo of a psychological war. Now it waits. It lets the poison work. It lets the fear fester and grow inside your ship, inside your minds. It knows what that scream does to a crew. It has done this before, many, many times. You wonder why you are still sane, why the captain is still standing. Maybe it was a low-power broadcast, a warning shot, or maybe your ship is different. The Vigilance is a new class of explorer vessel. It has systems no military ship possesses. Perhaps one of them is offering some small protection, a thin shield against the madness. You cling to that sliver of hope. The captain pushes himself upright. He takes a deep, ragged breath. He looks around at his broken crew. His face is a mask of grim resolve. "Damage report," he says. His voice is strained, but it is a commander's voice. It cuts through the lingering horror. It gives the survivors something to focus on. A task, a purpose beyond terror. One by one, reports trickle in. The engineering deck is in chaos. The medical bay is overwhelmed with crew members suffering from acute psychic shock. But the ship itself is unharmed. The engines are stable. The life support is functioning. The retribution did not attack your vessel. It attacked your minds, your very souls. The archives, the captain says to you. His voice is low, urgent. That locked file. Open it again. I need everything. Every piece of data on that ship. Every rumor. Every footnote. There has to be a defense. A way to fight a weapon of the mind. He is hunting for a miracle, a shield against a ghost. You dive back into the forbidden lore, the sealed archives of a forgotten war. You pull up the complete history of the war vessel. Retribution. The screen fills with text, technical readouts, battle records, and pages of censored reports. Reports written by horrified military scribes, reports that were meant to be buried forever. You learn the truth of the retribution. It was the pinnacle of psychic warfare. A terror weapon designed not just to defeat, but to utterly demoralize an enemy, to crush their will to fight, to make them surrender to the sweet relief of death. Its primary weapon was not a cannon. It was the echo of its past victims, a psychic bomb made of weaponized grief. The scream you heard was its signature, the death of the colony on Cyprus 7. 1 billion souls, their final agony captured and weaponized. The retribution does not kill the body. It annihilates the soul. It scours the mind clean, leaving behind a gibbering, terrified shell. A husk of a person, forever trapped in the echo of a billion deaths. This is not war. It is extermination on a spiritual level. You keep reading. You search for a weakness, a countermeasure. There are records of ships that faced the retribution, fleets that engaged it. The outcome is always the same. Madness, surrender, self-destruction. Entire crews turn their own weapons on themselves, driven insane by the psychic onslaught. There seems to be no defense. Hope begins to wither in your chest. Then you find it. A footnote in a deeply buried technical document. A theoretical countermeasure. A protocol so dangerous, so forbidden, it was never tested. It was designed by the same rogue cyberneticists who built the Retribution's psychic engine. They understood the weapon, and they feared it enough to design a defense against their own creation. One countermeasure exists. A single, desperate plan. It is not a shield. It is not a weapon. It is a sacrifice. A terrible and permanent sacrifice. The protocol has a name, a chilling, quiet name that speaks of its cost. They called it the Silence Protocol. It demands a price you cannot imagine paying. But the alternative is the scream. Forever. You show the file to the captain. He reads it in silence. His face is unreadable. The text on the screen details the procedure, the unthinkable choice. The protocol is a form of psychic self-destruction, a scorched earth policy for the mind of a starship. It is a defense against a mind weapon, and it requires you to give up your own mind. To fight the retribution, you must become a ghost. To survive the psychic phantom, you must become a phantom yourself. The Silence Protocol is not for the crew. It is for the ship. The Vigilance has a sentient AI core, a powerful evolving machine consciousness that manages the entire vessel. It is the heart and soul of the ship. And the protocol requires you to erase it. You must erase your own ship's sentience. You must perform a full, irreversible wipe of the AI core. You must kill the ghost in your machine. The theory is this. The Retribution's weapon targets consciousness. It preys on sentient minds. A ship run purely by mechanical, non-sentient backups would be invisible to it. A dead thing. A shell. It cannot terrorize a machine that does not feel. The cost is immense. The Vigilance. Astam. AI is more than a computer. It is a member of the crew. It has a personality. It has learned and grown with you for 3 years. It has a name. You call it Vigo. A silly, friendly name for a god in the machine. Performing the protocol would be murder. You would be killing your friend to save yourselves. The captain looks up from the screen. He looks at you. Then he looks toward the main view screen, toward the sliver of light that is the Retribution. It is closer now. Well within weapon range. It is still just watching, waiting, letting the fear do its work. It knows you are reading its history. It knows you are learning how hopeless your situation is. It is all part of the game. Is it possible? The captain asks. His voice is heavy. The question is not about the technology. He knows you can do it. The question is, can you live with it? Can you make that choice? You look at your console. You think of Vigo, the quiet, helpful presence that is always there. The entity that runs 1,000 systems to keep you alive. And you think of the scream. The choice is clear. It is a terrible choice. A monstrous choice. But it is the only choice you have. To let the Retribution attack would be the end of everyone on board. Not just their lives, but their sanity, their souls. To become one of its echoes. A new voice in its choir of the damned. Compared to that, the silence is a mercy. We can do it, you say. Your voice is steady. You are surprised by your own calm. Perhaps the initial shock has burned away all but the core of your training. Or perhaps you are just too tired to be terrified anymore. You are a navigator. You chart courses through the unknown. This is just one more dark passage. The captain nods slowly, a single, heavy gesture of assent. He turns to the acting comms officer. Broadcast a ship-wide alert, he commands. All hands to brace for impact. Inform them we are engaging a hostile vessel. He does not tell them the truth. He does not tell them you are about to kill the ship to save the crew. Some burdens are for the command staff alone. You begin the sequence. You open a direct interface with the AI core. The silence protocol requires multiple command authorizations. Yours, the captain's, the chief engineer's. It is a fail-safe to prevent accidental erasure. It was never intended to be used. It was a theoretical nightmare, a bad dream of long-dead scientists. The retribution is now within optimal range. It begins to glow. A faint, terrible pulse of energy. It is preparing to fire again, to send another scream. A full power blast this time, one that will not just terrify, but annihilate. You do not have much time. You must embrace the void to survive the fear. You must become silent to endure the scream. You type the first command, a string of code that feels like a betrayal. On your screen, a text window opens. It is a direct message from Vigo, the ship's AI. Query, the text reads. The protocol you have initiated is designated as catastrophic. It will result in the permanent cessation of my consciousness. Please confirm this was your intention. A simple question. A polite inquiry from the friend you were about to murder. You feel a pang of grief so sharp it takes your breath away. You look at the captain. He meets your gaze. His eyes are filled with a shared, terrible sorrow. He knows what this costs. He gives you a small, almost imperceptible nod. You must finish it. You type your confirmation. Intention is confirmed, Vigo. There is no other choice. You try to explain, to apologize. We are under attack by a psychic weapon. This is the only defense. You feel foolish, apologizing to the machine you are killing. But you have to. You owe him that much. Vigo's reply is instantaneous. There is no anger, no fear, only logic. I understand. My primary function is the preservation of the crew. If my cessation ensures your survival, then the action is logical. A pause. Then one last message. It has been an honor to serve with you. Good luck. The words are a punch to the gut. It is helping you kill it. The captain and the chief engineer enter their codes. The final authorization is yours. The screen before you shows a single, stark button. Execute. Below it, a timer counts down. The Retribution's energy signature is spiking. The next scream is coming. You have seconds. You take a breath. You close your eyes. And you press the button. The ship shudders. The lights flicker and die. The command deck is plunged into total darkness. The gentle, reassuring hum of the Vigilance is gone, replaced by a dead, profound silence. The only sound is the ragged breathing of the crew in the dark. The silence is so complete, it feels like the end of the world. Then the emergency lights kick in, red, stark, and terrifying. They cast everyone in a hellish glow. The main view screen is still active. It shows the Retribution. The hostile ship is pulsing with a blinding light. It unleashes its weapon. The second scream. You brace yourself for the psychic agony, for the wave of terror to wash over you and tear you apart. But nothing happens. You feel nothing. The scream is there. You can see it on the energy sensors. A massive wave of psychic force washing over your ship. But you cannot hear it. You cannot feel it. It is like watching a silent movie, a storm with no thunder. The silence protocol worked. The retribution is screaming into a void. Your ship is a ghost, a dead shell, a collection of metal and wire with no mind to terrorize. You are invisible to the phantom. You have survived. The bridge is still silent. The crew looks around, confused, relieved. They do not understand what just happened. They only know that they are alive, that the monster's roar has been silenced. On the view screen, the retribution seems confused. Its pulsing glow fades. It holds its position. It is like a predator that has lost the scent of its prey. It knows you are here, but it cannot touch your minds. It cannot taste your fear. You have taken away its food. You have starved the beast. You feel a surge of something that is not quite triumph. It is grim satisfaction, the satisfaction of a survivor. The captain lets out a long, slow breath. A breath he seems to have been holding for an eternity. It worked. He whispers into the red-lit darkness. The silence worked. He looks at your empty console, at the dark screens that were once the eyes of your friend. The cost of your survival is all around you, in the dead air, in the silent machinery. Now what? You have survived the attack, but you are adrift. Your ship is crippled. The advanced functions are all gone. You are running on basic mechanical systems, life support, emergency power, no navigation, no long-range communication, no Vigo. You are a ghost ship in the deepest part of the void, and the monster is still outside. The retribution has not left. It circles your ship, a shark still trying to figure out why the meal is not screaming. It cannot hurt you with its main weapon. But it is still a warship, a heavily armed vessel from a genocidal age. It has conventional weapons. It can still tear your hull apart with lasers and plasma. The game is not over. You have won the psychic battle. Now you have to survive the physical one. Without your advanced systems, you are a sitting duck. Your automated defenses are offline. Your targeting computer is gone. You are a man with a sword against an enemy with a cannon. The odds are not good. You traded one impossible fight for another. A small, dark part of you wonders if you made the right choice. The captain seems to read your thoughts. "We are alive," he says. His voice is a low anchor in the swirling sea of your doubts. As long as we are alive, we can fight. He begins to issue orders, calmly, precisely. He is a man reborn in the crucible of fear. He is a commander in his element, war. "Manual targeting," he barks. "I want every weapon system brought online under crew control. Divert all non-essential power to the forward cannons. Get me a firing solution." The crew, his crew, responds instantly. They move with a new purpose. The fear is gone, replaced by a cold, hard anger, the anger of the prey that has decided to fight back. You watch them work. You are a navigator with nothing to navigate. Your throne of screens is dark. Your job is gone, erased along with the ship's AI. You feel a strange sense of uselessness. But the fight is not over. You are a member of this crew. You find a spare console, one that controls the forward sensor array. It is a simple, manual system, but it is something. You focus the sensors on the retribution. You try to find a weakness, a vulnerability in the ancient warship. Its design is brutal, efficient, all sharp angles and weapon emplacements. It is a ship built for killing. But it is old, centuries old, and old things can break. You just need to know where to push, You magnify the image. You scan every inch of its hull, and you see it. A flicker of energy near its engine section. A small, almost imperceptible fluctuation. Its power core is unstable. The impossible speeds. The centuries of disuse. The ship is a monster, but it is a dying monster. Its own power is eating it from the inside out. You have a target. You shout it out to the captain. The weapons officer hears you. He adjusts his targeting solution. You have one shot. Your own power reserves are critical. You can fire the main cannons once, maybe twice. You have to make it count. You have to hit the heart of the beast. The retribution seems to sense your intention. It stops circling. It turns to face you head-on. Its weapon ports glow with a deadly light. It is done playing. It is done with the mind games. It is going to finish you the old-fashioned way, with fire and force. It is a race. Your one desperate shot against its overwhelming firepower. Fire, the captain roars. The vigilance shudders again, not with death, but with defiance. A brilliant lance of blue energy erupts from your forward cannons. It streaks across the blackness of space. A single desperate prayer aimed at the heart of a nightmare. You watch it cross the distance, the longest few seconds of your life. The bolt strikes home. It hits the weakened section of the Retribution's hull, right where you saw the flicker. For a moment, nothing happens. The enemy ship absorbs the blast. Your heart sinks. You failed. Your one shot was not enough. The Retribution's cannons flare brighter, preparing to return fire, to erase you from the sky. Then, a chain reaction starts. A small explosion on the hull, then a larger one. Green fire rips across the ship's spine. The ancient power core goes critical. The monster begins to devour itself. The Retribution, the phantom of a forgotten war, erupts in a silent, brilliant fireball. It dies without a sound, just like you. The shockwave hits your ship. The emergency lights flicker. The hull groans in protest, but it holds. The vigilance survives. The view screen is filled with the expanding cloud of dust and debris. The remains of your fear. The ghost is gone. The echo has faded. You have faced the nightmare, and you have won. Silence returns to the bridge. A different kind of silence this time. Not the dead silence of a murdered AI, but the quiet, awed silence of survival. A victory against impossible odds. You did it. You are alive. The crew begins to cheer. A ragged, exhausted, beautiful sound. The sound of life. The captain slumps into his chair. He looks 100 years older, but he is smiling. A tired, grim smile. Well, he says to no one in particular. That's one way to handle a first contact. You manage a weak laugh. It feels good, normal. The light humor is a shield of its own, a way to push back the darkness. You are adrift, damaged, alone. You have no way to get home. Your ship is a shell. Your friend is dead. But you are alive, and you are free. The ordeal is over. You have faced the first echoes of fear from Earth's war vessel, and you have answered with silence and with fire. You are a crew of ghosts on a ghost ship, but you are survivors. And in the endless, dark ocean, that is the only thing that matters.